Welcome to the NDS Video Blog series. We're addressing employers in this video, employers that are DOT regulated, and what employers are going to need to know about standing orders for DOT oral fluid drug testing. Hi, I'm Joe Reilly, President of National Drug Screening. I want to talk to employers today, specifically employers regulated by the United States Department of Transportation, DOT. Employers that do DOT drug and alcohol testing are required to do DOT drug and alcohol testing. You may or may not know that oral fluid drug testing will become an alternative to your DOT drug testing program very soon, more than likely first quarter of 2025. So currently, urine specimens are used for DOT drug testing. Only urine specimens are used for DOT drug testing. In the near future, oral fluid drug testing will be an option. Oral fluid will be collected, put in a tube, split sample, go to the lab for testing, just like the urine goes to the lab for testing. If it's negative, you'll get a report right away from the medical review officer, MRO. If it's not negative, positive, the second part of the specimen will be tested using confirmation testing methods. The MRO will get a result. If it's positive, they'll talk to the donor, talk about any medical explanation for the positive result, and you as the employer will get the result back. The challenging part of this whole equation is, do you use urine or do you use oral fluid or do you use a combination of both? The choice of what to use is only the employer's choice. It's not the applicant's choice. It's not your employee's choice. It's not the collector's choice. The choice of whether to use urine or oral fluid is only the employer's choice. And there may be situations where the employer's choice is to switch from urine to oral fluid. There could be situations where the employer's choice is to switch from oral fluid to urine. There may be situations that arise during the collection process that you switch from urine to oral fluid. To accomplish this, DOT, in their regulations, has come up with a term called standing orders. So standing orders refer to the employer's choice of whether to use urine or oral fluid, or whether to switch at some point in time based on some reason from urine to oral fluid. So if you're a DOT employer doing drug testing, you have to let the collection site and or your TPA, you have to let them know what your standing orders are. Otherwise, they have to call you and hunt you down when the donor shows up to find out what your standing orders are. So I have some examples of standing orders. We'll show some of these on the screen also. One standing order might be that you use oral fluid all the time. That's what you use. That could be your standing order. The other standing order might be you use urine like you always have, except in the following situations. So in these situations, you might want to switch from urine to oral fluid. And that may be any time a direct observation is required. So if it has to be direct observation, we can eliminate that awkward process of someone having to go into the restroom with your applicant or employee and watch them pee in a cup. We can switch over to an oral fluid collection. When is direct observation required? When might we do this? Well, one, the MRO might require it based on the outcome of a previous test. For example, it was invalid. Number two, all DOT return to duty testing and all DOT follow-up testing is required to be directly observed. Number 3, we get a urine specimen where the temperature is out of range, and now we're required to go to a direct observed collection. So now we go over to oral fluid. Number 4, specimen appears to be tampered with. So at the collection site, the donor provides a specimen and it appears to be tampered with, or there is some suspicious activity that clearly indicates an attempt to cheat on the test. That leads to a direct observation collection. So those are the situations in this category where a standing order might say we switch over to oral fluid. Now this next part is not really a standing order, it's a requirement by the DOT, and this is only when a direct observation is required and the donor identifies as non-binary or transgender. Those collections must always be oral fluid. Now again, that's only when a direct observation is required. The next type of standing order might be that we switch from urine to oral fluid for all post-accident and all return to duty testing. Return to duty testing, direct observe, we need to do direct observation. But for all post-accident and actually reasonable suspicion testing, that's where we may say we're going to switch over to oral fluid. Why? Because in those two types of testing events, post-accident and reasonable suspicion, we're looking for very recent drug use, and oral fluid drug testing gives us more recent detection times. So if they use drugs this morning, you might pick them up at lunchtime with oral fluid. With urine, it may take a day for the metabolites to get into the body to be detected with urine. So oral fluid detects drug use quicker, might be more appropriate for post-accident and reasonable suspicion, and we may want to switch over every time to oral fluid. Another standing order might be that anytime a donor cannot provide a specimen with urine or cannot provide enough urine, 45 milliliters, they typically go into a shy bladder process and have to wait up to 3 hours to provide the sufficient amount of urine. Well, let's not wait up to 3 hours anymore. Let's make that a standing order that if a donor goes into a shy bladder process, we automatically go into doing an oral fluid collection. Now, the last standing order, which I highly recommend because this could happen, there are collection sites out there that have been doing urine for many years, and they're going to start doing oral fluid, but they got to be trained first, and they got to have these supplies, and they may not have them yet. So my last standing order says that anytime a trained or qualified DOT urine collector is not available to do either urine or oral fluid, do the other one, okay? So even though we want to switch to oral fluid, if there's no one available to do oral fluid, let's stay with urine. So that's going to be one of my main recommended standing orders, is that we don't switch over if we don't have a collector to do it. Because otherwise, that collection site is going to need to call you, the employer, the designated employer representative, the DER. They're going to need to call you, and you're going to have to make arrangements to get that applicant or employee somewhere else that can do the oral fluid test. That's going to create an awkward situation, take a lot of time, energy, and it's going to be a mess, quite frankly. Okay, so in our standing orders, we're going to say, if we're requiring a switch over to oral fluid, but there's no oral fluid collector available or they don't have the supplies, we're going to stay with urine. So this is all coming. Collectors are going to start being trained to do oral fluid collections as of December 5th. If you, as an employer, want to do your own oral fluid collections, we can help you with that. We can get your people trained and qualified. I'm going to ask you to go to dotoralfluidcollectortraining.com. We can make arrangements to get your in-house employees that want to do oral fluid collections and/or urine. Do your own collections in-house. You can save a little bit of money doing that. We can get you trained and qualified. Contact us. You see the website on the screen. You see the phone number on the screen. So DOT oral fluid drug testing is coming. Collector training for oral fluid drug testing is coming. You're going to hear about standing orders. You're going to need to create standing orders. You're going to need to get those orders to the facilities that are doing the collections. And if they don't have those orders, they may have to call you day or night to find out what your choice is, whether you're going to use urine or oral fluid in your DOT drug testing process. Thanks for joining me. Call me if you have any questions. Circle back to our website. Lots of information all the time, nationaldrugscreening.com.